The prairie stretched endlessly beneath a sky painted in hues of gold and crimson, as if the heavens themselves were bleeding into the land. The year was 1872, and the frontier was no stranger to hardship. Drought had left the ground cracked and brittle, the rivers ran shallow, and hunger had become a silent companion to many who called the land home. Daniel Hayes, a cowboy of 35, leaned against the weathered fence of his barn, his hands roughened from years of work. He wasn't rich, not by any measure, just a man with a small herd of cattle, a barn that creaked with every gust of wind, and a heart that carried scars of battles fought both within and without. He had known loss. His wife, Mary, had passed 5 winters ago, leaving behind only a faded blue ribbon tied around an old book she loved. He kept it on the mantel, a reminder of gentleness in a world that so often seemed unforgiving. Though alone, Daniel still rose each morning before dawn, tending his cattle, mending fences, and living with quiet dignity. That evening, as he poured a bucket of water for his horse, Duke, a faint rustle caught his attention. It wasn't the wind. It wasn't an animal. Daniel turned sharply, his hand instinctively brushing against the revolver at his side, though he had long grown weary of using it. From the edge of the trees, a small figure emerged, fragile, unsteady, and almost swallowed by the shadows. It was a child, barefoot, gaunt, and trembling, his skin bronzed by the sun and dirt, his hair long and matted. His hollow eyes spoke volumes of hunger and desperation. The boy staggered closer, his lips cracked, whispering something Daniel could barely hear. "Food, please." Daniel's heart clenched. He had seen starving cattle before, but never a child so broken by hunger. The boy looked no older than 8 or 9, his ribs visible beneath the thin fabric of his torn shirt. For a moment, Daniel froze, torn between caution and compassion. He knew well the tensions between settlers and the native tribes. Aiding this child could draw suspicion, or worse, retaliation from those who misunderstood. But then he remembered Mary's voice, gentle yet firm, echoing from the past. "Daniel, kindness is never wasted. When someone's in need, you don't weigh the risk, you open your hand." He dropped the bucket, rushing toward the boy. "Easy now, son," he said softly, kneeling down. "You're safe here." Daniel carried him inside, laying him gently on a chair near the hearth. He fetched bread, a bowl of warm broth, and even a strip of dried beef. The child's hands trembled as he ate, as if afraid it would all vanish before he could taste it. Daniel didn't press him with questions, not yet. He only watched, silently grateful he had enough food to share. When the boy finally slowed, his eyes fluttered with exhaustion. Daniel draped an old quilt over him. "Rest, little one. You'll be all right." The boy muttered a word before sleep took him. A word in his native tongue that Daniel did not understand, but it carried the weight of gratitude. That night, Daniel sat by the fire, staring into the flames. He thought of the risks, the uncertain consequences. But as he looked at the child sleeping soundly for the first time in who knows how long, he felt a strange peace. He had done what was right. And sometimes, that was enough. At dawn, the prairie was quiet, but Daniel's world was about to change forever. When he stepped outside to feed the cattle, he froze. His breath caught in his chest. Lined across the field, their silhouettes sharp against the rising sun, were horses. Dozens. No, hundreds. Their riders sat tall, their weapons gleaming faintly in the morning light. Warriors. Nearly 200 of them. And they were facing his barn.